So today I'm willing to talk about the Mediterranean diet. Maybe we're also going to talk about some other things around dieting or some other diets. But I want to stick to this one first since it's been ranked the best diet by US News and World Reports, not records, but reports, with an overall score of 4.2 out of 5. And I mean, you probably heard about it as well. I mean, most often those countries that are in the blue zones, those areas where people live the longest, they apparently, as far as I remember, they're having the Mediterranean diet or Mediterranean. I think it's Mediterranean, diet. And so, I'm willing to talk about some articles that I found on the diet, what it is all about, how to eat it, benefits. Maybe there's going to be some drawbacks, I don't know. And afterwards, I'm also willing to go through some other diets, which are also ranked by the USN. I have went through those articles, the same articles before, but I'm just willing to go through them once again. So, by the majorclinic.org, which is, at least in my point of view, a pretty cool site around health and so forth. So Mediterranean diet, a heart healthy eating plan. Ready to switch to a more healthy or heart healthy diet? Here's how to get started with the Mediterranean diet, or Mediterranean, whatever. If you're looking for a heart healthy eating plan, the Mediterranean diet might be right for you. The Mediterranean diet blends the basics of healthy eating with the traditional flavors and cooking methods of the Mediterranean, or something. So why the Mediterranean diet? Interest in the Mediterranean diet began in the 1960s with the observation that coronary heart disease caused fewer deaths in Mediterranean countries such as Greece and Italy than in the US and Northern Europe. Subsequent studies found that the Mediterranean diet is associated with reduced risk factors for cardiovascular disease, which is one of the biggest factors for death, actually. The Mediterranean diet is one of the healthy eating plans recommended by the Dietary Guidelines for Americans to promote health and prevent chronic disease. It is also recognized by the World Health Organization as a healthy and sustainable dietary plan or pattern, and as an intangible cultural asset by the United National Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization. So what is the Mediterranean diet or Mediterranean diet? The Mediterranean diet is a way of eating based on the traditional cuisine of countries bordering the Mediterranean Sea. While there is no single definition of Mediterranean diet, it is typically high in vegetables, fruits and whole grains, beans, nuts and seeds, and olive oil. The main components of Mediterranean diet include daily consumption of vegetables, fruits, whole grains and healthy fats, weekly intake of fish, poultry, beans and eggs, moderate portions of dairy products and limited intake of red meat. Other important elements of the Mediterranean diet are sharing meals with family and friends, enjoying a glass of red wine and being physically active. So it's not only, I wouldn't only consider it a diet, but more or less even a lifestyle. If you kind of think about the way you should be eating and the way you should be living in the end. Plant-based, not meat-based. The foundation of the Mediterranean diet is vegetables, fruits, herbs, nuts, beans, and whole grains. Meals are built around these plant-based foods. Moderate amounts of dairy, poultry, and eggs are also central to the Mediterranean diet, as is seafood, which I, by the way, assume right now that it will be way more of seafood, since, it's about countries that are probably near the ocean. But in contrast, red meat is eaten only occasionally, which I think just makes sense if you think about the fact that seafood is probably, it's way closer to them and they're probably having way more of it compared to red meat. Of course, if I think about Italy, I think about pizza and I think about salami pizza and whatnot, but just a little bit of a realization, I'd say. Healthy fats. Healthy fats are mainstay of the Mediterranean diet. They're eaten instead of less healthy fats such as saturated and trans fats, which contribute to heart disease. Olive oil is the primary source of added fat in the Mediterranean diet. Olive oil provides monosaturated fat, which has been found to lower total cholesterol and low-density lipoprotein, which is LDL, or bad cholesterol, which, by the way, I've had one episode around that. Well, actually, I think multiple ones, where I went really deep into the subject based on a pretty neat article that I found by Nate Eliason, if I remember that correctly. You're probably able to find it in some way by typing in cholesterol or bad fat or something like this. Fish are also important in the Mediterranean diet. Fatty fish such as mackerel, herring, sardines, albacore tuna, salmon, and lake trout are rich in omega-3 fatty acids, a type of polysaturated fat that may reduce inflammation in the body. Omega-3 fatty acids also help decrease triglycerides, reduce blood clotting, and decrease the risk of stroke and heart failure, which is introduced by blood clotting in your veins. But what about wine? The Mediterranean diet typically allows red wine in moderation. Although alcohol has been associated with a reduced risk of heart disease in some studies, it's by no means risk-free. The dietary guidelines for Americans caution against beginning to drink or drinking more often on the basis of potential health benefits. By the way, I've also looked into that, and there seems to be quite, some biohackers are indeed using alcohol in some way. There's also alcohol in coughing syrup and whatnot, so there might be, there definitely are some benefits to it, but it is all about like the, moderation quite. It's all about how much you're using it and or consuming it or whatnot. Eating the Mediterranean way. Interested in trying the Mediterranean diet? These tips will help you get started. Eat more fruits and vegetables. Aim for 7 to 10 servings a day of fruit and vegetables. Opt for whole grains. Switch to whole grain bread, cereal, and pasta. Experiment with other whole grains such as bulgur or farro. Use healthy fats. Try olive oil as a replacement for butter when cooking. Instead of putting butter or margarine on bread, try dipping it in flavored olive oil, which actually may or may not work for fat loss, but we're going to talk about that later on as well. Eat more seafood. Eat fish twice a week, fresh or water-packed tuna, salmon, trout, mackerel, and herring are healthy choices. Grilled fish tastes good and requires little cleanup. Avoid deep-fried fish. Yeah, doesn't make too much sense if you think about it. Anyway, reduce red meat and enjoy some dairy. Eat low-fat Greek or plain yogurt and small amounts of variety of cheeses. Not Jesus, son's God, yeah, God's son, but cheese. Spice it up. Herbs and spices boost flavor and lessen the need for salt, which may be kind of balanced out by the seafood, which I think is generally very salty. Just no matter how you're preparing it, like it is salty, I guess. I don't actually know. Should think about that a bit more. So the health.usnews.com article, which I also went through, and there is a scorecard. As I said before, the Mediterranean diet is having a score of 4.2 out of 5. Short-term weight loss 3.0 out of 5. Long-term weight loss 3.1 out of 5. Easy to follow 3.8 out of 5, and healthy 4.8 out of 5. So the question that I'm now having, isn't weight loss or lower weight associated with being healthier and or healthy? Question mark. Why? Anyway, we also have gonna have a look at the DASH diet, which is the second place, as well as the Flexiterranean diet. But yeah, the pros and cons of the Mediterranean diet. The pros are nutritionally sound and diverse foods and flavors. The The backsides of it are, or downsides, lots of grunt work and moderate pricely. Of course, if you eat a lot of fish and nuts and whatnot, these things are heavily priced, unfortunately. What can I eat? Buckwheat pancakes. Actually sounds really neat, not gonna lie. Greek yogurt. Mediterranean pasta salad. There is no picture. Why is there no picture? Chicken souvlaki. Pocket the good stuff. Chicken and veggies in a wrap. Pair with a side of couscous to eat lunch fast or slow. Roasted almonds. Grab a handful for a protein-packed snack that will keep you from loading up on sugary junk later in the day. The only problem that I'm having with nuts in general and fat in general is that it is so high in calories that it's to some degree just doesn't make any sense for me to eat that. You know, and consuming way more calories in way less grams or in way less volume. You know, eating for volume makes way more sense because I'm able to eat more food. You know, and still having the same and probably even less calories than that. You know, and it's also going to be healthy. I mean, fruits and veggies, they're not really high in calories. You know, you can eat a bunch of them, especially when it is about veggies. Fruits are a bit of a, you know, a bit of a thing, but veggies definitely. How much does Mediterranean diet cost? The cost of Mediterranean diet, like most aspects of the diet, depends on how you shape it. While some ingredients like olive oil, nuts, fish, and fresh products in particular can be expensive, you can find ways to keep the tab reasonable, especially if you're replacing red meat and meals with plant-based home cooking. Some research suggests your shopping choices matter too. Can't spring for the $50 bottle of wine, grab one for $15 instead, or even lower. I mean, there's $3 wine and whatnot, and if you're using it for cooking, well, you know, people say if you don't want to drink the wine, you should also not be cooking with it, which makes sense at my point of view. But you know, if you're using it to cook solely, then I don't know, like, doesn't need to be that high quality or ultra expensive wine, at my point of view. And snack whatever veggies are on sale that day rather than the $3 a piece artichokes. Yeah, indeed. Will a Mediterranean diet help you lose weight? A 2019 study published in Nutrition and Diabetes analyzed dietary patterns of 32,119 Italian participants over a mean of 12 years. Research concluded that following a Mediterranean diet is associated with lower levels of weight gain and less increase in waist circumference. But they also report the research has limitations and that more intervention studies are needed to confirm their findings. I mean, if you think about those people that are living in those areas, like, they're not the thinnest. Gotta have to say that. What about the blue zones? Is that blue zones diet? Blue zones diet, or is it actually the blue zones diet. Eating to break 100. Longevity diet tips from the blue zones. A distinct version of the Mediterranean diet is followed on the blue zones. Let's actually have a quick look. Food guidelines, bluezones.com. Let's actually check that out. I think that I've been on the site before, but I think that I've not recorded it though. Blue Zones food guidelines. The first is plant slant. See that 95% of your food comes from a plant or a plant product. Favor beans, greens, jams, and sweet potatoes, fruits, nuts, and seeds. As our advisor Walter Willett of the Harvard School of Public Health puts it, meat is like radiation. We don't know the safe level. Indeed, research suggests that 30-year-old vegetarian Adventists will likely outlive their meat-eating counterparts by as many as 8 years. Research have also found that people who consumed a quarter pound of fruit daily, about an apple, were 60% less likely to die during the next 4 years than those who didn't. And I mean, well, many oils derive from plants and they're all preferable to animal-based fats. We cannot say that olive oil is the only healthy plant-based oil, but it is the one most often used in the Blue Zones diet. Evidence shows that blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so how can you do it? Keep your favorite fruits and vegetables at hand. Use olive oil like butter. Saute vegetables or low heat in olive oil. You can also finish steamed or boiled vegetables by drizzling over them a little extra virgin olive oil, which you should keep on your table. Stock up on whole grains. We found that oats, barley, brown rice, and ground corn figured into Blue Zone's diets around the world. Wheat did not play as big of a role in these cultures, and the grains they used contained less gluten than do the modern strains of today. Use whatever vegetables are going unused in your fridge. Notes on protein in the Blue Zone's diet. Very interesting. We've all been taught that our bodies need protein for strong bones and muscle development. But what's the right amount? The average American woman consumes 70 grams of protein daily. The average man, more than 100 grams. I mean, we talk about Americans, by the way, you know. Too much. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention recommends 46 to 56 grams per day. But quantity isn't all that matters. We also need the right kind of protein. Protein, also known as amino acids, comes in 21 variations, which is kind of the point. Of those, the body can't make 9, which are called the 9 essential amino acids because we need them and must get them from our diet. Meat and eggs will provide all 9 amino acids, while few plant food sources do. But meat and eggs also deliver fat and cholesterol, which tends to promote heart disease and cancer. So if you want to eat the Blue Zone's diet and emphasize plant-based foods, how do you do it? The trick is pairing certain foods together. By combining the right plant foods, you will get all the essential amino acids. You'll not only meet your protein needs, but also keep your calorie intake in check, which is kind of the benefit of plants, you know. Well, it also depends on just, you know, how you deal with them. But yeah, retreat from meat. How you can do it: avoid bringing beef, hot dogs, lunch, and blah blah blah, all the processed meat into your house. Quick and easy snacks: edamame sprinkled with soy sauce or walnuts. Low calorie combos for Blue Zone's diet. Yeah, this is quite all. I mean, I see lentils there, black-eyed peas. Black-eyed peas. Extra filling Blue Zone's diet dishes: cooked brown rice plus 1 cup of cooked chickpeas. Fish is fine. Eat up to 3 ounces of fish daily. Okay, interesting. Diminish dairy. Minimize your consumption of cow's milk and dairy products such as cheese, cream, and butter. Occasional egg. Daily dose of beans. Eat at least a half cup of cooked beans daily. I see. Slash sugar. Yeah, that's quite it. Snack on nuts. Eat 2 handfuls of nuts per day. 2 handfuls. Isn't that a bit much, though? Sour on bread. Replace common bread with sourdough or 100% whole wheat bread, which I can also recommend, by the way. It just makes sense. Go wholly whole. Eat foods that are recognizable for what they are. Not fucking processed, motherfucker. Eat super blue foods. The first one is beans. The second is greens. Then sweet potatoes. Then nuts, olive oil, oats. Slow cooking or Irish steel cut are best. Barley, fruits. Green or herbal teas. And turmeric as a spice or tea. The Blue Zone's beverage rules: water, coffee, and tea, as well as red wine, apparently. Developing a taste for the Blue Zone diet. How can I do it for kids? 4 always 4 to avoid. The always foods had to be readily available and affordable. I see, so it's going to be highly processed. 4 always. Nuts, 100% whole wheat bread, beans, and your favorite fruit. 4 to avoid: sugary sweetened beverage, salty snacks, processed meats, packaged sweets. 14 longevity superfoods from the world's Blue Zone's diet. Vegetables: fennel, kombu, zoot, and wakame, as well as seaweed. Potatoes, shiitake mushrooms, squash, sweet potatoes, wild greens, and jams. Fruits: avocados, bananas, bitter lemons, papayas, I don't see tomatoes, plantains, and peach palms. Beans or legumes, black beans, black-eyed peas, chickpeas, fava beans, or other cooked beans, well. Grains, barley, whole grain bread, brown rice, maize, nixtamal, or oatmeal. Nuts, almonds, or other nuts, well, thank you. Lean protein, salmon, soy milk, or tofu. Dairy, feta cheese, pecorino cheese. And yeah, sweeteners and seasonings, garlic, honey, Mediterranean herbs, milk thistle, and turmeric. I do want to quickly all amino acids plant from plants. Let's see what I can find. Here are 13 nearly complete protein sources for vegetarians and vegans. Let's have a look. Yeah, quinoa, tofu, tempeh, and edamame. Amaranth, I didn't know about that. Or amaranth, whatever. Buckwheat. Well, it's not as high in protein as quinoa or amaranth. Buckwheat is another pseudo cereal that is a plant-based source of complete protein. Fuck. Eviseal bread, which is made from sprouted whole grains and legumes, including barley, soybeans, wheat, lentils, millet, and spelt. Spirulina, hemp seeds, didn't know about that either. Chia seeds, also didn't know about that. Nutritional yeast, also didn't know about that. Rice and beans. Rice and beans are a classic pairing that's a source of complete protein. Is it? Both brown and white rice are low in leucine but high in methionine. In contrast, beans are high in leucine but low in methionine. As such, combining them allows you to get enough of each, well as the remaining 7 essential amino acids to count as complete protein. I see. Pita and hummus. Similar to rice, the wheat used to make pita is too low in, yeah, you get the trick. Peanut butter sandwich, a mycoprotein, corn, and the bottom line. Yeah. Think I'm gonna end the episode there. Let's actually have a look. I think that I'm recording for actually quite a long time. I assume, at least, you know. 22 minutes, yeah. Gonna end the episode there. Maybe tomorrow I'm gonna go through some other diets, but we're gonna see. I wish you the best. Please stay safe and healthy. Forgive yourself. Bye-bye.